on your behavior, it's on your heart, it's on your DNA. Like, how do you deal with all that?
I'd like to introduce Belva Davis, an inspiration for professionals and aspiring journalists. Davis has reported on significant and historical events, not only in the Bay Area, but also throughout the country, and has interviewed several U.S. presidents and other world leaders. She demonstrates her community involvement by being a board member for community nonprofits, labor activists, and support of cultural institutions. Ms. Davis is also a proud member of the San Francisco chapter of the Lynx, having joined the organization in 1985. Ms. Davis.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Big question now is, can we do something about it? So we meet a star of the film, and we will ask her to join us first of all, and that is Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. Please join us, Dr. Harris. She is the founder. She is the founder and the CEO, as you know, of the Center for Youth Wellness. You're on your chair. I don't know. That's you. She is famous already because of what she has done. She doesn't have to wait to be discovered. You discovered her right here in her own community, and you made her, by your cooperation, helping her to help you help yourself. So she is, we are proud to have her on the stage with us. Also with us is James Redford. James Redford, I hope you saw at the end of the film. He is the filmmaker. He himself is a person, here you go, James. That has made big pictures, important pictures, like the one that we've just seen, and his work speaks for itself. Tiffany Johnson. Tiffany Johnson is a PhD candidate at UC Berkeley. Her interest spans many areas of student concerns as she continues her studies in the Equality and Social Justice program there. Her concern is for students who are searching for hope, like you and me, students who are searching for love. She wants to take part in it by creating changes that can improve their life. Patricia Lee, right next to me here, has been a deputy public defender in San Francisco. Well, she said 3 decades, but she doesn't want you to believe it. She is the managing attorney for the Juvenile Justice Unit of the Public Defender's Office. She is also on the Family and Juvenile Law Advisory Committee of the Judicial Council. Joy Jackson Morgan on that end down there. Joy is the executive director of the 3rd Street Youth Clinic and Center. Joy's most important contribution to 3rd Street has been her ability to combine insight into the history of this neighborhood with both her formal education and her public health and professional experience. And being from the Bayview, we expect her to help us speak for you. Lauren Cherry. Lauren Cherry has held several educational and administrative positions in policy and design jobs in her life. I'll call it a job, even though we'd like to say the word professional. She works for the Oakland Unified School District. She currently manages multiple aspects of attendance and discipline processing within the district. It is her job, when a student must leave school and is expelled, to evaluate the fairness, the equality, and the attention that student has been given before receiving such a directive. And I think I have, nope, did I miss somebody? I'm just going so fast. We have seen so much, heard so much, and if you, like me, you felt so much, you couldn't help but feel it. If you care about children, if you care about humanity, if you care about life, And that's why these people on the stage tonight is going to help us deepen our understanding of our emotions, just like the children that our good doctor talked about. We hide all of these things that make us who we are, most of them good, but many of them not so good. And so we're going to explore that. There was a line in there that says, somebody has to do something about it, somebody said. Or will we do something about it? I like that better. And that's what we're going to talk about as we explore the deep meaning behind this motion picture. So let's start with, you started as a pediatrician wanting to improve just the health of youngsters, but you found it was much deeper than that. And you talk about the growth for yourself along this journey to explore?
This process for me, I didn't learn about adverse childhood experiences or toxic stress in medical school or residency or even in public health school, and I went to great institutions. I learned about it from my patients. And I'm looking at some faces in the audience right now because for me, I came here to try, because I believed that every child deserves an equal opportunity to grow up healthy. And I wanted to give the best of myself, my training, my expertise, my time, my energy, and my passion here to the Bayview Hunters Point community. And what I found was that when I did that, this community gave me so much. Such an education, such an incredibly warm welcome. And then we, together, what we learned here, we were able to lift it up so that we can help kids all over the country and, in fact, around the world. And that feels really powerful. So it's been a transformative experience for me. I can't describe what it's been like.
I would just like you to add a little bit more of what came out in the film, and that was about the emotional, the physical you came in to look for. You discovered the deepness of the emotional trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was very interesting for me was when I went to, when I trained in pediatrics, what we were taught was, we take care of the body, and that if a child has an emotional problem or a behavioral problem, we'll refer them to our, someone else, a mental health colleague or someone else. And as we heard Dr. Victor Karian say in the film, we separate that. The body doesn't separate that. The body is one. And that was a big part of the reason why we created the Center for Youth Wellness, was to be able to bring all of these services in one place under one roof and have us work in an interdisciplinary manner so that we could put the patient at the center, and instead of saying, okay, this is my problem and that's your problem, to really say, how do we look at the whole child and how do we bring all of the services that are necessary to help this whole child thrive?
I think as we move down the panel and involve the people here from their point of expertise, you spent a lot of your time in discovery, whereas Lauren Cherry spent a lot of her time in trying to cope. So you deal with students who have been missed by the wonderful information and maybe the help that could have been given at this level. You see them at another point, Lauren.
It's interesting that you bring that up. As educators, we're now having to shift our mindsets and perspectives and our practices in the classroom, such that we, as Dr. Nadine talked about, looking at the whole child, we want every child to succeed academically, but also to succeed socially, emotionally, and their whole space. So as she has patients, we have students, they're really one and the same. And so it's really about having this conversation, this collaborative, this interdisciplinary concept and conversation around coordinating of services so that we can help that same student, that same family.
And after that, so now we've got the discovery of health problems and how they tie into the emotional problems, and then we see what challenges this present to those who are trying to move children from whatever level they may have come from, no matter where that is, but to a higher point, and mostly to stay out of the difficulty with the authority figures. So we're going to explore that some more, but we'll talk about what happens when it fails and how that impacts upon, hopefully, will be stopped if we ever solve the problem that the good doctor is attacking. Did we talk with you and about juvenile justice?
Yes. Can you hear me? No.
Did you?
All right. I have this on, but I'm known for having a very loud voice, and I've been told to get off the soapbox by various judges in my career. I don't like to think of the justice system as a failure, because every child that we work with has the opportunity to succeed. And if I didn't believe that, I should turn in my card. So unfortunately, I believe that the justice system is a trigger. It is inherently traumatic. It is an ACE factor. Most of the youth that come through the front gates of detention, and generally it is lockup, are youth of color. The majority are African American, at least 40%, 30% Latino. Asian Pacific Islander is a growing population. And once you get into that juvenile justice center, it is very difficult to find your way out. And it has always been by my belief and my passion, and that's why I keep doing this, and I expect to go another 2 decades, if you'll allow me, is that by the time that youth and family, if there is family, find themselves within the 4 walls of the courtroom, it is almost too late. And I think that our solution, and this is something based on our Be Magic program that we started in the Bayview because we wanted, we wanted to be a part of the community. We wanted to have the families trust us and to work with us. And it's not only defending that case, but it's having a child-focused and a family-focused representation. So we don't just defend in court. We are out in the community, and we have grown our social work staff so that we have a girls' youth advocate to work with gender-specific issues and to be able to do outreach and to work with our trafficked girls who come into the system and are so damaged. We have an African-American social worker who goes all over San Francisco and beyond San Francisco and has established such a strong relationship with our youth. And unfortunately today, right before I came, one of our youth, 17 years old, came to court. He got in a big argument with his dad, and he totally lost it. He has been very suicidal in the past, and he ran off. And my social worker went to his house and brought him back, along with the counselor with the behavioral health team, because he was at such great risk. He was so at risk in harming himself that we had to call 911. And there was an assessment done, and they decided that he had stabilized with the help of the team. And the team was not just with our office, but with the mental health counselors, with the probation officer who had great experience working with children with severe disabilities. And so we stabilized him. He left, he came back, and the sheriffs called and said, you have to come, you have to leave your meeting right now. Come, this is an emergency, please work with him. So the team we wrapped our arms around this youth, and even when I left, he was still there in the building with my team. And I will tell you that I know that my social worker escorted him back home, and he will be there tomorrow. So this is what we do. It's beyond the courtroom. It's embracing the community.
Thank you.